my husband's like, oh crap, and I went running in, and he was bleeding. He was sitting on the floor at the bottom of the steps, and is that good? All gone. Is that all gone? Is that for Valentine's Day? Oh yeah, that's yummy. Happy, happy, happy Valentine's Day. Did Grandma make that for you? Grandma Jenny, she makes the best snacks, huh? So yummy. Valentine's Day weekend full of candy and fun and laughter. At least that's how it started. It seemed as though it was going to be a phenomenal Valentine's Day weekend. And how can you go wrong when you have chocolate covered bacon? Chocolate covered bacon. Yeah, so my mom made us this ginormous basket, or bowl rather, of Valentine's Day homemade candy, and she had such a good time doing it, and we super appreciated her for it. So just sharing some of our life with you guys. So stay tuned to find out how it went from good to bad at the end of the day. So, as it unfolds, my girl here really loves art, like everything art, painting, coloring, pens, pencils, highlighters, all the things. So, she was showing her daddy all the different things in her pocketbook or her little pouch. And then, of course, Abel, he didn't have the show on that he wanted, so he was giving us the business this morning. In our previous vlog, I showed you guys that my husband had made a purchase. So, ta-da, here is the purchase. And it's actually working out quite nicely. So I decided to have myself a nice healthy Valentine's Day breakfast as well. The Buckeyes are my favorite. Comment below, what is your favorite homemade candy? So I decided to dip it in my coffee, and yeah, it made for a wonderfully not nutritious but yummy breakfast. And yes, that was my husband catching me acting goofy in front of the camera. And I was like, shush. Oh my goodness. Where are you reading in the Bible? Let me tell you something. Because I just made a video about that. I was asking him, did you see my video yesterday? And he said, no. And I said, huh, I talked about that exact same thing. So yeah, that was definitely a God thing. And the TV is going with music in the background. We're listening to kids worship music throughout this entire video. So of course I had to voice over and add in a little happy tune myself because, hashtag copyright. Oh, Van Gogh. She's at it again. Painting pretty pictures for Pastor and Mare. That's Pastor and our pastor's wife. So we were getting prepared for the next day, which was going to be Sunday after Valentine's Day, so that we could take these paintings to them. And as you could tell by the thumbnail picture and title of this video, we definitely did not end up getting to go to church the next day. But speaking of creative, I have some links in the description box underneath this video to my prayer journals that I wrote with the help of the Lord, and I'm super excited to share those with you. So go ahead and check those out when you're done with this video. Now we've just got a little breakfast action here. Not really breakfast, but just some snacking because that's just what they love to do. I wonder how many of those they can fit in their mouth. Genesis, that face, really? That is so funny. She cracks me up. I think she was trying to see if she could keep up with her brother. Carson, hand her her cup. So these boots were too tight. don't mind our office space. We are in the middle of still trying to finish this up.
You can't help?
But yes, she really liked putting them on until this particular day. Although they're still too tight, Daddy decided to tell her that those shoes were too small, and then all of a sudden, she didn't want anything to do with them.
My hands are shaking. That's funny.
This was definitely the highlight of my entire day. I got to go to the salon and get a pedicure done, and it was heavenly. It was definitely much needed experience out with Megan, and it was just such a fun time and fellowship. And I think the Lord must have knew that I was going to need that in preparation to the events that are about to unfold.
Good job, Abel. You guys are doing great. It's all right. It's okay. Mommy will clean it up. Mommy will clean it up. It's all right. No. Paint. No. Hey, paint on the paper, okay? Can you paint on the paper? Oh, are you painting a bird? Abel, you're doing a good job. You're painting a bird.
What's a bird?
Are you painting a kitty cat? Oh, don't yell. Are you painting a kitty cat?
So somehow we went from making art masterpieces and having a grand old evening of artistic fun and crafting to this. This was absolutely not the way that I thought we were going to be spending this evening, and it was definitely a shock to us. And through it all, we are so eternally grateful because we know that this definitely could have been so much worse. My husband and I are just discussing what happened, and of course, it was very, very intense. It was stressful. It was scary, and yeah, we are just so thankful for all of your guys' prayers and support when I posted about this.
Kiss. Kiss. It's all right. Is it cold? Ow! What do you do that for?
Did you flick Daddy's nose?
Yeah, because what you call it, flick Scooby's business.
So we ended up being in the emergency room for about 5.5 hours before we were released to go home. And they had to put Abel to sleep in order to put his stitches in. And it was really scary. Like the medicine, when it kicked in and started working, although you expect it to have some progressive effects as it starts to work, but it was definitely scary. This is after it's over, just getting some clips to show you. He was resting peacefully. I was so thankful to see him just sleeping and not upset and crying and in distress. So yeah, this was a much more peaceful place to be. My husband didn't realize I was recording right here, and all of a sudden he realizes, oh goodness sakes. Yeah, he's trying to be like, oh, what's going on? You know, it's so important to try to make the best of every situation that you find yourself in. And again, this is just us trying to make the most of a not great evening. So it is now 11:01 p.m. and it is February 13th, and I just wanted to wrap up this vlog video and kind of share with you guys a little bit about what happened with Mr. Abel. So we were, my husband and I were standing in the kitchen
talking, and I didn't even know that Abel was not in the living room. He was just in the living room with us, which is connected obviously right to the kitchen, and all of a sudden he started crying, and honestly I just thought he was throwing a fit like he does a lot, and he kind of, you know, has some behaviors and is very verbal with his Down syndrome, so I just thought that he was just doing his thing, you know, and but then I could kind of tell that maybe it was a little bit different, and I just said to Chris, I'm like, can you go check on him? Because I figured it would be a fight to be able to get him to come back into the other room, because I didn't know what he was mad about. And then my husband's like, oh crap, and I went running in, and he was bleeding. He was sitting on the floor at the bottom of the steps, and so honestly I don't think he fell down the steps. I think he took a step, like to step onto the landing, and probably hit his face here on the shoe rack that we have at the bottom of the steps. So if you have never experienced seeing your kid have a medication like ketamine, that was not anything that I would ever want to have to see again. I pray that I don't. He's not obviously a typical child, and you can't rationalize with a 5-year-old anyways, but he would have not allowed them to take care of him, to do the things that they needed to do. So they had to give him the medicine and sedate him, and he ended up getting 7 stitches, and he still actually is not really awake, but the doctor said he didn't fear any negative adverse effects from the medication or anything, that he felt like he was fine, but he was just extremely tired and sleeping off the sedation. So they are going ahead and discharging us home. My 18 or 19-year-old rather came up and stayed with the baby, and then Chris and I both were able to be at the hospital with Abel, which was very nice, because a lot of times I can't be present when things like that happen with Abel, because it just really upsets me. But I was fortunate enough to be able to be there and be next to him the entire time while they put in the sutures. Obviously he was not awake, but it made me feel good to be next to him while that happened. So prayers for speedy healing and little pain as possible would be super appreciated. Yeah, I'm gonna wrap up this vlog, and we're gonna go home and pray for a very uneventful night. All right, thanks so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon.